Good evening, guys. Canators Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for November 16th, 2023. So, we had a good session in the Foundations course. We answer weekly questions twice a week from the students in office hours. Today, we talked about, when is the research weekend happening? We're loading up all the videos and presentations in November to collect the questions, and then we're going to schedule Q&As with all the authors for December. We will record all those and make that part of the total package, so you can still subscribe and take advantage of it. We'll make that available later too. So if you decide to come back and get that later, we'll have access to all the presentations, all the Q&A sessions. You just won't be able to ask any directly, but it's still a pretty good deal. We talked about clarifications on the multi-time frame, multi-lens analysis, which is this strategy that we teach in the Foundations course about how to incorporate 5 or 6 different uh, sense-making lenses about the market, like MACD, 4 seasons, pinch and stretch, RLCO, regression line fractal framework, support and resistance, and then integrating that into a set of notes about our targets on a monthly, weekly, daily, 2-hour, and 30-minute basis in order to give us really a comprehensive look at the market, the sectors, and targets. So we talked about, well, how do you do it specifically, and what targets am I looking at every week, and which of those do I put any extra weight on? And I spent a good deal of time talking about the 10 period and 30 period regression lines and their slopes in each of these time frames, and why you got to pay particular attention to that in order to be able to justify trying to be aggressive with front running or being aggressive with profit preservation, no matter which time frame you're using. Like if you're using core or swing trading or day trading, the 10 and the 30 give you valuable trading information on each of those time frames. We also looked at some more specific ideas about when to, and how, under what circumstances, to convert a day trade into a swing trade, so holding overnight. Talked about the difference between professional and amateur money and how that is reflected in their skill levels and their response to surprises. And then some talk about wicks and exit strategies, about where to find our trading beliefs about systems, self, and market across the many different sources. The best place is in the book. Then it's the Foundations course to get a wide view of 1,000+ hours of our beliefs. And then the Patreon archive for the nightly podcasts, which are archived. Every system I publish specifies the relevant beliefs associated with that system. Free materials at our homepage. The YouTube channel has probably 10,000 hours of videos and 3,000 publicly available videos, and the glossary and our course on system. Anyway, start with the book. That's why we wrote it, to just try to deal with all the madness of the accumulation of 40+ years of effort with dozens of traders working together. I mean, it makes my head hurt, as did the book. So if your head hurts reading that book, then mission accomplished. The ability to endure pain for professional reasons is what distinguishes professionals from amateurs. That's where your edge is. All right, 30-minute charts, starting with Alcoa. All the usual suspects. After that extreme upward move that we've been looking at, it was the most natural thing in the world to now see the market take a tactical pause. Now, we don't know if that is a return all the way to the previous support level, because it only came this far. So I don't have to have a belief that it will or that it won't when I have evidence of how far it has moved and how far it could move and whether or not that's operationally significant and can I frame a trade. That's not a belief. Those are facts. Those are evidence. Those are techniques. Those are rules. So in the battle between beliefs and evidence, I'll take evidence every time. Then I will learn how to create rules that allow me to take advantage of the evidence that I have. And then I can use good quantitative research techniques to determine under what conditions I'm entitled to have some limited belief that's based on evidence. Start with the evidence, make the rules, test the rules, but certainly don't believe in them until you have enough evidence to justify taking a risk. Some people would believe, I think, that if you believe strong enough, you don't need evidence and you can don't pay attention to your lying eyes when you have a belief. Well, tell me how that works out. Meanwhile, we're short Alcoa at the owl entry, and we are going to hold that because it closed poorly. I thought hard about this exit, and this was one of the worst performers and had one of the best moves, and I had some markets money. So I'm going to hold that one because we're holding 3R of cushion just on the short position. And if this gap right here breaks, then the target down here is justified. So we could very easily see a big gap and then an immediate run, and then that will make that look smart. More importantly, it'll pay us. So if you had to choose between those two, you decide. Would you rather be right or paid? All right, here's AI. I was late getting into this one after the PSAR flip yesterday, but when it broke through the Bollinger Band mean and gave us a full owl entry, we collected 3R on that with the usual dragon exit. Maybe gave back too much, but that feels like a good trade-off. Amazon, no trade. I just missed another one of these. You know, I thought about this entry yesterday, didn't take it, then had this regret, missed the long side and then missed the short side. This was just radioactive for beliefs. Caterpillar, no trade. I missed the short. Cliff, missed the short. CVS, caught the short on the collapsing dragon and the crossing of the PSAR and the Bollinger Band mean, collected 2R with the dragon exit. Disney, we closed that nice trade yesterday and then there was nothing today, and that's setting up a nice Z3 pinch for tomorrow. Dish Network, no trade. Again, Z3 pinch. Devon Energy, you know, if Dish doesn't start moving, I'm just going to replace it, so it's on notice. Devon Energy, we got the big gap down, collapsing dragon short, 2R gain on the dragon exit. Electronic Arts, Z3 pinch breakdown, collapsing dragon short, standard risk, 2R dragon exit. Emerging markets, hey, if I'm going too fast, you need to study harder or just listen to the replay at 0.5 speed. Emerging markets, the big gap down, and then it basically stabilized into a Z3 pinch. Shaping up for tomorrow. Electronic Arts, we covered the long when it did not follow through, got a fractional gain. Mexico closed a big winner, 3R from the gap and go from yesterday, or 2 days ago, sorry. Brazil, no trade. Intel, bingo! So this was the standard work on a Kata 2 entry, and we rewarded it with a 5R battle drill when it gapped and goes. It closed well yesterday, had a huge run up, and finally had the presence of mind to add a third position and watched them all close well. I wanted to count these out loud in public because I wasn't sure you would believe me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18R on the first one, 12R on the second one, 4R on the first one, 34. Intel. Old school tech, semiconductors, long-term strategic partner of Department of Defense and the United States of America and Texas. That's the no-brainerest trade ever. IP, 2R on the short side, Dragon exit. How much was that one again? Oh yeah, 34R. And the day ain't over yet. You think anybody's interested in buying that one tomorrow? Could you take a look at this on a longer time frame? Sure you could. If you went out to the daily charts and turn off some of the write-ups, we could see, yeah, that thing is free and clear. But it's got to go all the way back up to 50 and 55 to handle that. It's only at a 50% retracement and cleared this hump, and there's another $20 of upside to Intel. That's not a runaway move yet. It could be starting because it just now broke this upper channel that it has been grinding through. Don't turn your back on Intel and say, well, it's too late. Hardly. If you look at the 9-day, this thing's still going to 70 before it recovers. And you're buying it at 43 today. There's another 80% upside on this one. Intel. You cannot say you weren't told. I know you wouldn't. This is international paper. So we closed this failure to follow through today, and then when the bottom fell out, we got short finally when it crossed the Bollinger Band mean and took the Dragon exit for another R. And happy to do it. IYR. This was no trade, and it is consolidating the real estate. Coke, no trade. Regional banks, no trade. 1R on the short side and the usual suspects for Mattel. McDonald's, some fast food for the trader. Emerging Dragon, Gap and Go. 2R, Dragon Skin exit. Merck, no trade. Microsoft, no trade, but it was an intraday 3-minute one. We'll see that in a minute. NVIDIA, this was part of that whole Intel trade in sympathy. Not much follow through, but I like it. Holding that one overnight. This is Clean Energy. Just missed the short on that one. Span of control. Rivian, 2R, usual exit. The S&P, sideways quiet channel. Did not fail. Treasuries, channeling. Tesla got an opportunity short for 2R. And no trade in U.S. Steel. Sniper trades of the day. Oops, just some quick looks. This is the Intel. This was in addition to the swing trades because I was certainly looking at Intel all day and ready to take the long side on it. Here was the Gap and Go. And that thing went rocketing up for 6R in here. Tried this one, that was -1. Caught a 2 reentry, +3, +1. So there's +10, -1. So in addition to the 34R from the 3-day swing, today also gained 9R as a boost from the intraday, and then I picked one of those, that one, as the third position on the Kata 2, or the third position on the swing trade. So after we had 5R in hand, that became the swing entry that I'm tracking. And its overnight risk was paid for with 5R just from that entry. Let's see, where's the other one? Microsoft. Where you have Microsoft? Yeah, so Microsoft, this one was also a gap up. One of the better gaps up. A noise box up. That's also the MMRB. It's about $1. Long. 1, 2. I was already working in Intel, so I didn't take the 2R battle drill here. But this gets you 4R on the first leg. Elected not to take the short. Took the Kata 2. Gets you 2 more R on this one. And then a scratch, so nothing overnight. So that's about 6 more. Find the movers. They start with gaps. Oh, we were looking at the research weekend. All of these are reports of work in progress from current students in the Foundations and Creativity course, documenting their multi-month journey. You got some of the old seasoned grizzled veterans talking about long-term research projects, including Phil and Griff, Phil's going to talk a little bit about EdgeRaider and the partnership we're working with Chris White at EdgeRaider to get you a 50% discount on his lifetime toolkit called EdgeRaider. So don't buy it until you get the coupon, because Chris is adding 3 of our templates for sniper trading and swing trading that go with EdgeRaider, which is an Excel-based trading management and research backtesting tool that is unbelievably powerful. And Phil is putting together a course to teach how to do that. And I'm going to make Griff do a swing trading course that shows how to implement those techniques in the same way that they've done the Kata 2. Really, really powerful tool. We've got a video on that in already where I talk about the 5 critical states of the sniper and how they are expressed in EdgeRaider. And the explanation itself may be all that you need, because you can do it in TC2000 or TradingView or TradeStation. But if you're looking for a backtesting environment, EdgeRaider is pretty darn good, and the 50% discount will be worth your while. They've got an installed base of several thousand users, so it's industrial strength. We're also going to have a bunch of master classes from me, from various workshops and best of research weekends and live trading workshops, including, I went back through and collected all of the, there's about 20 hours of podcast interviews with me and Van over the years from VTI. Still very timely. I went back and listened to them all again. There's a gold mine. That's about 20 hours of high payoff videos all collected in one spot. And I'll be answering questions on that as part of this research weekend package. In addition to that, we have even more master classes. There were just too many to put in one module. So there's probably 200 hours worth of top shelf research, including the works in progress from the other traders. It's not just me talking. You get to see folks that are actually applying this in professional settings with professional results and institutional level money at risk, which is pretty cool. And they're reporting on how they got there, the techniques they used to learn. So pretty good stuff. Let's go here. And did my brother sneak one in on me here? No, David H. Let's see what David's got for us here. David found Intel as well. Ends the day with 10R in hand. So he out-traded me on that one on the intraday and kept a half a position overnight. Gap up and go, standard work. He takes the exit and a re-entry, exit, and a second re-entry on the R10 wiggle. Beautiful. I don't know that I would be taking shorts on Intel. Oh, I see. This was a second exit. Okay. Quick cut, and then stop and reverse gets paid, gets paid. 10R, nice work. And this is his position. So he's risking one of his 10R. So that ain't all bad. My brother has one on Intel too, so he, not to be outdone, he wants to show off a little bit too. We'll post it then, bud. All right, we'll get to it. Grinding in the Aussie dollar for Hamad. Success in avoiding losses in Amazon. Makes it a positive day with good grinding in AI and in Devon Energy, so he doesn't stay wrong too long. That's good. And then escaped with his life in Tesla. This is Kurt bringing home about 2R in Tesla on the short side, getting big wins and small losses. So staying aligned. Mark brings home almost 2R grinding in the British pound and the dollar. And we saw the 10R from Daniel and my brother finally. Let's see, here's the 9-day trade. So this is the extended long-term sniper. This is like long-distance sniper. Let's call it that way. You're using a 9-foot barrel on this one. Yeah. And so each of these bars is 9 days, and not to be outdone, the brother has been crushing it short from here all the way down to here and using market's money and reinforcing weakness. Got 5 positions into it and covered them all in the money. Observe the turning point. Gets the original turn. How nice is this? gets the original turn back on the improvement in the MACD. So this is a case where failed to fail further, and you get the beginning of a spring. That's like 200 days ago because that's 150. So he gets his initial entry at 30, and then additional positions at 25 and 36, and today it's at 43. So that's how you build the position over the long term. And the size of the risk on that is so small, the R
Yeah.
multiple is astronomical, meaning that he's really benefiting from position sizing, markets money, and the 2, 4, and 8R battle drill. Yeah. Yeah, so he's looking pretty good. Yeah, you want your earphones on when you're using the 50 caliber sniper rifle. Well, what you ought to look at, Bill, we got some 30 millimeter anti-tank sniper rifles from World War II that the Russians had. The barrel is about 7 feet long, and it's launching 30 millimeter cannon rounds through a shoulder fired bipod based anti tank sniper rifle. It'll scare the living crap out of you. It's got about a 7 kilometer range on it. Man
Amazing.
carried, crew served. It's amazing. It's one way to defeat drones with brute force. All right, fellas.
Um,
Let's
I
see.
don't know if you can hear me.
That's the
Um,
that's the follow through. I'm going to leave the I'm going to leave the report to you guys to work on. We've had one day of sell off. All the usual suspects are in play. You should be looking at Intel, Nvidia, the energy sector. That's where the movers are going to be. So pay close attention to those. Okay. Yeah. All right, fellas. That's everything I got. We'll get this published and posted. Um, if the spirit moves me, I will add the foundation's Q&A to the daily. But really, if you haven't taken the foundations course, you should take it. That's it's good stuff. It's the best value in town. All right, guys. That's all I got for today. Take good care.